Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new Pokemon TCG video. What we're going to be showcasing today is a deck that just works fantastically well. I mean, it's powerful, it's quick, it hits for lots and lots of damage. It is a deck that is going to utilize Shiftry, not the Shiftry that you guys have grown to hate. It's not the giant fan Shiftry. This is instead the Shiftry with the Leaf Draw ability. It is a grass type. It's from the Flashfire set, so don't worry, this isn't the expanded format. It has the ranged dance attack, which allows the Shiftry to hit for 20 damage times the number of bench Pokemon, so both our bench Pokemon and our opponents. So that means that theoretically that Shiftry can hit for up to 200 damage. If we also see the the Stadium card that allows us to play down more Pokemon. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Skyfield, there we go, sorry. So if there's also the Skyfield Stadium card, then that can be 8 Pokemon in each player's bench, so that can be 320 damage. This little guy can hit for, so that is very impressive. Unfortunately, we can't run the Skyfield Stadium card in our case because the the Forest of Giant Plants Stadium card works much better. We'd like to be able to evolve our Pokemon nice and early and bring out those Shiftries, so that we can ultimately set them up and then send them out into the battlefield. So we are running a total of 4 copies of the Force of Giant Plants, and we have a tremendous amount of draw support in this deck. So we have a total of 3 copies of the Shaman EX with the setup ability. Helps a great deal, allows us to essentially set up our strategy and really makes this Shiftry deck run smoothly. We are also running a total of 3 copies of the Trainer's Mail. Again, will allow us to sort of sift through our deck and grab the cards that we find useful, such that we can really make our strategy work. So we are running a total of 3 copies of this card in our deck. We're also running a single copy of the AZ. This is mainly to be used on the Shaman EX. Put it back into our hand. We can lay it back down into our bench, and that will allow us to draw until we have 6 cards in our hand. Easy. We actually tend to use it quite a bit in this deck. Can also be useful in terms of retrieving a badly damaged Shiftry from our field and then putting it back into our hand. So AZ is quite nice. We are running a single copy of that. Of course, we have the typical draw supporter card. So we have 3 Sycamores, 2 Professor Birches, and a single copy of the Ace Trainer. We're running a total of 10 energy cards. 6 of them are grass energies and 4 of them are the double colors energy. Now, in case you guys weren't paying close attention, Leaf Draw allows us to potentially, in case we want to take advantage of this special ability. Oftentimes we tend not to take advantage of it, but anyways, it is there for us, so we can discard a grass energy card from our hand, and by doing so we are able to draw 3 cards. So this can be particularly useful, especially if our opponent, for example, has used the Ace Trainer on us and forced us just to have a total of 3 cards in our hand, and we desperately need an energy card or something like that, for example. Then we can definitely take advantage of the Leaf Draw, and in those instances, that's precisely why I've decided to run the Energy Recycler. I mean, we're not running a lot of energy cards in our deck. It's very easy for them to go into that discard pile. That Energy Recycler is actually pretty helpful, again, just due to that Leaf Draw, and of course just making use of that range dance attack. So Energy Recycler works pretty well in this deck. We are running a single copy of that in our deck. We're also running a single copy of the Sacred Ash, which will allow us to recycle all of our Pokemon, well, up to 5 of our Pokemon, and then put them back into our deck. Speaking of Pokemon, the very last Pokemon that I briefly want to mention is the Spinrack Ariados line. We're only running a 1/1 line. Poisonous Nest could potentially allow us to just make up for the right amount of difference, such that we can get a 1-hit knockout on those oddly numbered EX Pokemon. So for example, those 170 HP Evil EXs, for example, 170 HP Lugia EX, Pokemon like that, Ariados can just help seal the deal. So Poisonous Nest, believe me, it actually comes in handy quite a bit. We are running a 1/1 line of the Spinrack Ariados line. We're running a total of 2 switch cards, one of them being the Escape Rope, the other one is the Switch card. We're running quite a few different methods with which we can grab onto our Pokemon, so we're running a total of 3 level balls and 4 Ultra Balls, so that is actually quite a bit of deck space that we have dedicated to them, but believe me, it really does tend to pay off, so that's why we are running those respective cards. We're running 3 VS Seekers to reuse our supporter cards, so again, the Ace Trainer, Professor Sycamore, the Birches, potentially the Lysanders to allow us to lure out some of the opponent's bench Pokemon. The AZs, definitely I tend to VS Seeker for those quite a bit. And then of course we have a single copy of the Teammates card. Whenever one of our Pokemon do get knocked out, we are able to go right ahead and search our deck for any 2 cards and put them into our hand. So Teammates is actually rather quite nice. We are running a single copy of that in our deck, and we're ultimately running a total of 2 copies of the Muscle Band, just to increase the total damage output of our Shiftries by a little bit. Potentially even our Shaman EXs, sometimes we do tend to attack with them. So that is going to be it. Well, I feel like the best way you guys can actually appreciate this deck is to see it in action. I mean, it's just really fast, it's powerful, it's hard hitting, it's pretty much everything that we need. The one deck that it could be problematic, well, actually there's a few decks I guess that could be a little bit problematic. Pretty much any deck that shuts down our usage of item cards, so decks such as the what's it called, Seismitoad EX, the Vile Plume, and the Trevenant. Sorry, my brain is just not working well today. And the Trevenant as well. So those three Pokemon can be very problematic. So maybe we should run the Hex Maniac, but to a large extent, Hex Maniac is really counterintuitive because it shuts down a lot of our Pokemon special abilities as well. So for the time being, I haven't really included it in our deck. But I'll see. I mean, I haven't actually come across a whole lot of those decks that I mentioned to you guys that our deck are particularly susceptible against. Man, this is terrible. I wish we had the Force of Giant Plants, guys, and then we could bring out a Shiftry right away, and of course then make use of... Okay, so we are gonna draw into an awesome. Alright, so I'm definitely very happy about that. Looks like our opponent is running the Wobbuffet. We're gonna go right ahead and use that Sycamore. We can't take advantage of the range dance, but that's okay. It shouldn't be too problematic. And that is going to have to be it for now, guys. All we need is a double colorless energy, and we should be able to start attacking our opponent's Pokemon. That Bite Barricade ability is unfortunately going to shut down a lot of our playability. I mean, I would love to grab onto an additional Seedot and then hopefully bring out an additional Nuzleaf and Shiftry line. Looks like our opponent is going to be running a Primal Groudon EX deck. He's really going to regret that Grass Weakness, because we'll be able to hit for lots of damage. So that's definitely something that I am looking forward to. Our opponent's deck is definitely going to be a slow one as well, so there isn't any particular rush for us to get our setup going right away. Unfortunately, that Shaman EX's ability is nullified, so you know what, I'm going to go and attach the Muscle Band onto that Shiftry. I think we're going to go and actually look for an additional Sycamore. So let's go and recycle a Grass Energy card from our discard pile, put it back into our deck, and then we're going to go right ahead and use that Sycamore. So it's unfortunate, but I think it's worth it in the end. So alright, so we have some Ultra Wells. Yeah, let's actually go and make use of them. I guess we could temporarily get rid of the Professor Sycamore. I'm gonna go right ahead and look for an additional Seedot, which we will be laying down in our bench. I mean, that Wobbuffet is just a very powerful counter to a lot of deck strategies, especially given the fact that there's no setup required whatsoever. The best counter, of course, to these Wobbuffets is the Silent Lab, which shuts down their Bite Barricade ability, but I mean, in case we have Pokemon of our own that really take advantage of basic Pokemon special abilities such as the Shaman EX, then that's of course very counterintuitive. Oh man, I mean, I really don't want to, but I think I'm gonna go and use another Sycamore. It's not exactly great start for us, and we already have all of our VS Seekers in that discard pile. Well, as soon as I use the Sycamore, so that is very unfortunate. Okay, so we have a Nuzleaf, so that's kind of nice. A Spinarak. Let's go right ahead and use that Trainer's Mail. And alright, so we have a Sacred Ash. How many Pokemon do we actually have in that discard pile? Just 2. So I think I'm going to hold off on the Sacred Ash for now. Let's go and look for the Level Ball. Let's go and use that Trainer's Mail one more time. We have the Ace Trainer and the Escape Rope. I feel like we'll have the prize card advantage for the bulk of the game, so I'm not particularly worried about that. Let's go right ahead and use that Level Ball, grab onto an additional Seedot. I'm going to hold off on that Ariados. I'd like to have as many bench Pokemon out as I possibly can. And I could use the Escape Rope, but I'm going to hold off on that, and then we're going to have to go and end the turn. I mean, our opponent hasn't brought out any of his Primal Groudon EXs just yet, and we don't actually see any Spirit Links attached to that Groudon EX, so we should be relatively safe for now. We are going to see 2 more Fighting Energy cards going into our opponent's hand. Due to that Professor's Ladder, of course, our opponent is sort of spreading around those energy cards. Alright, so we do have the Double Colorless Energy, so that was definitely wise on our opponent's part, because we are going to go right ahead and Lysander out that Groudon EX for our very first kill. So let's go and bring it out, use that Deranged Dance. That is 300 damage, guys, and that is going to be 2 prize cards for us. So without it, we would have hit for 150 damage. Oh no, sorry, we would have actually hit for 160 damage, but then of course our opponent did have the Hard Charm, so it looks like we're going to see an additional Wobbuffet, and we should be able to slowly start loading up our benched Pokemon as well. So I'm going to go and bring out the Ariados. That's definitely a nice Pokemon to have. Let's go and attach a Grass Energy card onto this Nuzleaf. The Range Dance, that is going to be 160 damage again, guys. 1 more prize card for us, and we're going to draw into a Shiftry. Alright, so things are looking very good for us right now. Our opponent still hasn't been able to bring out a single one of his Primal Groudon EXs, so this is definitely not looking all that great for us. We're finally going to see that Karina. Definitely going to be seeing a Primal Groudon EX rear its head, so something that I should be a little bit worried about, but I'm not, because we are able to take advantage of that crippling grass weakness that the Primal Groudon EX possesses. So I think this game is as good as ours for the most part, guys. We're going to see that weakness policy. Alright, so our opponent thinking ahead. That weakness policy could change the entire flow of the game. So I'm going to go and attach the double colorless energy onto that Nuzleaf. Let's go and attach, bring out an additional Shiftry. I don't think we need to really take advantage of that leaf draw ability just yet. Let's go and use that Professor Birch's observation. That is going to give us a head. We have an additional Shiftry. I will absolutely be bringing that out. Let's go and use Level Ball. Alright, so we have a C-Dot. Unfortunately, no more Nuzleafs. Let me actually show all cards. I do want to take a brief look at what we have. So we have the Sacred Ash as well. Let me see, what Pokemon we have remaining in our discard pile. So a Nuzleaf and a Shiftry, yeah. So let's see if our Trainer's Mail will allow us to grab onto that. No. Ace Trainer. I don't think we're really going to need it, to be honest, so I guess I'm going to go and look for an Ultra Ball. I could definitely grab onto a Shaman EX if I wanted to, but again, I'm going to hold off on that for now, guys. Then let's go right ahead, use the Range Dance. That is going to be 160 damage to a Robo Substitute. Sorry, for some reason I thought I could grab onto a prize card, but of course, that's not the case. And our opponent is finally going to get that first knockout. I hope he gets a little bit of satisfaction from it, because I mean, we've just been powering through his deck. Those Shiftrys just came out really early. Again, I'm really thankful that we drew on to that Forest of Giant Plants right away. I mean, all of our Forest of Giant Plants are now in the discard pile, but at this point we don't really need them. So I'm going to go and attach a Grass Energy card on to that Shiftry. I do have the Shaman EX, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. I mean, we still have the double colorless energy in our deck, but I think I should be able to grab it. So let's go right ahead, use the Range Dance. That is going to be 120 damage. Should be able to knock out that Primal Groudon EX during our next turn, guys. I should have actually poisoned it. That was kind of stupid of me. Completely forgot about the Ariados. We're going to see that Silent Lab. That's going to allow our opponent to knock out that Shiftry in a single attack. Otherwise, it would have fallen just 20 HP short from getting that knockout. So our opponent is slowly making a comeback. I think pulling out the Shiftry as our active Pokemon should be a relatively safe move. I mean, we do have a Switch card in our hand just in case things don't go the way we want them to. So we have the Professor Sycamore. So I'm going to go and actually make use of the Level Ball. Of course, that's not going to guess anything at all. I'm going to go and, you know what, I don't think we need a Switch card. So let's actually go and get rid of that. Get rid of the Sycamore as well. We only have 8 cards remaining in our deck, so I think we should hold off on that. So we have that double colors energy. That's precisely the card that I need, guys. So let's go and lay down that Shaman EX. Yes, I'd like to draw into some additional cards. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Okay, so I'm gonna have to lay down that second Shaman EX as well. So let's go and actually recycle some of these Pokemon. So Nuzleaf, a C-Dot, Nuzleaf, because we have one C-Dot on our bench, right? Yes, so Nuzleaf, Shiftry, and a C-Dot as well. Alright, so with that, I'm gonna go and lay down one more Shaman EX. Come on, let us get that double color energy. No, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Alright, I do have the Ultra Ball, so I'm gonna have to make use of that. So let's actually go and get rid of that Ace Trainer. And I guess the Escape Rope as well. I don't think is really necessary. We actually don't have one more Shaman EX in our deck, but we still have the the AZ, so let's go right ahead and grab onto that Nuzleaf. Let's go and bring it out. I'm gonna go in AZ. I don't want to give up that Grass Energy card, guys, because I mean, I could of course make use of the Deranged Dance ability. Let's go and lay down that Shaman EX. Finally, we're gonna get the double colors energy, and we're gonna be able to knock out that Primal Groudon EX. So should be able to win the game. I'm gonna go and lay down a C-Dot as well. Let's go and use the Range Dance. That is 140 damage. That is 2 more prize cards for us. Just a ridiculously close call. I mean, if that double colors energy happened to be our very last card, we would have lost the game because we would have gotten decked out. If our opponent somehow has a Trick Shovel or a Bunnelby, I'm gonna be really upset. But I think we've pretty much won the game at this point, guys. I don't think any of our opponent's Pokemon should be able to withstand an attack from that Shiftry, even if we do see a Groudon EX. So we are gonna see that VS Seeker. Let's see what our opponent is gonna draw into. Possibly a Karina, I'm thinking. Yeah, so this may just be our opponent's very last hope of potentially making a comeback, but I feel like this game is pretty much ours. Still 4 prize cards remaining, but again, we're getting dangerously close to decking out. We're gonna see that Machamp, possibly a rare candy as well, but we have a Lysander in our hand, so yeah, we have won the game, guys. Doesn't really matter at this point what our opponent does, unless he's somehow able to survive an attack. So we're probably going to see that Machop retreating, I'm thinking, and we're probably going to see that Robo Substitute make its appearance. Yes, so we're going to see that Switch card. Unfortunately, it does not matter at this point. I'm definitely going to say GG to our opponent. I mean, he definitely picked up on the pressure towards the end of the game. That weakness policy, not a card that I was expecting. So let's go right ahead and say GG to our opponent. Lysander out that Machop, and that is going to allow us to snatch that very last prize card. I'm interested in seeing the stats of the game, so we'll take a quick look at that, guys. And alright, so rewards don't really matter, so we managed to hit for 1020 damage in total. That is actually quite a lot when you think about it. Our opponent only hit for 440 damage, but those Primal Grout on the X's can really dish out the damage. Our biggest attack was 300 damage. Of course, our opponent did have that Crippling Grass weakness, and yeah, so this was all in all a pretty good game, I would say. Our opponent again almost managed to win the game. We were dangerously close to decking out. We had 0 cards remaining in our deck. Anyways, that is going to be it, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, be sure to check out those annotations for a random video if you're feeling lucky, and my previous video as well in case you happened to miss it. Also, in case you guys are not aware of it, I do have a Twitter account, and I'm going to be hosting giveaways. I'm going to be answering you guys' questions. I'm going to be updating you in terms of what I'll be doing, things like that. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. And again, that is going to be it. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.